Is your testosterone protocol trash? Most of the men don't fail testosterone therapy because testosterone doesn't work. They fail because the plan around it is garbage. And I don't say that to be dramatic. I say that because we see it every week. Guys come in from other clinics on testosterone and they were immediately thrown an aromatase inhibitor to block their estrogen. They were told that they have to be donating blood every 6 to 8 weeks. They're changing their dose every time they feel slightly off. They're adding peptides. They're adding Enclomiphene, HCG, thyroid medication, whatever the internet told them was optimized. And then they sit them down and say, oh, I'm not feeling good. And it's like, yeah, because you're not even in hormone optimization anymore. You're in biochemical dodgeball.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What?
Today, I want to cover the biggest mistake that we see with testosterone hormone optimization. Some of these are patient mistakes, some are provider mistakes. Some are mistakes made by social media influencers who learned endocrinology from a comment section with a discount code. And if you're on testosterone, thinking about testosterone replacement therapy, or feel like your current protocol is not working, this is going to save you a lot of frustration and possibly some money, and maybe a few unnecessary blood donations and an estrogen payment. The first big mistake is thinking testosterone is going to turn you into a completely different human being. Testosterone can absolutely be life-changing for the right person. Better energy, better motivation, better libido, mood, recovery, better drive, better confidence. But testosterone does not replace discipline. It does not replace sleep. It does not replace lifting weights. It does not replace fixing your diet. It does not replace therapy for your mental health. Not replace not drinking 6 beers every night and then wondering why your sleep, erections, belly fat, and motivation are garbage. Testosterone gives you a better engine. But if the tires are flat, the oil hasn't been changed, and you're driving into a ditch every weekend, we still have a problem. I've said this in another one, but it's like the super soldier serum that was given to Captain America. It's like it just amplifies everything inside. It just makes you more of who you want to be. One of the most frustrating conversations is when a guy says, I started testosterone but don't feel as good as I thought I would. And then we look at the rest of the picture. He sleeps 5 hours. He doesn't exercise. He's living off gas station food. He drinks a few beers or liquor every night just to wind down. His blood pressure's way out of whack. His waistline is up. He has untreated sleep apnea. And he wants to know if his free testosterone should be 28 instead of 22. It's like, brother, free T3 is not the fireman here. It is standing in front of a burning house with a garden hose. Testosterone can help, but it cannot outmuscle a lifestyle that is actively working against you. And that doesn't mean just eat better and sleep more. That means hormone optimization works best when it's part of a complete plan. Nutrition, training, sleep, stress, blood pressure, metabolic health, sexual health, mental health. That's optimization, not just injecting testosterone and waiting for your life to become a Rocky montage. Another mistake we see is just worshiping the lab range. A guy comes in with classic low testosterone symptoms, low libido, poor motivation, brain fog, poor recovery, losing muscle, gaining fat, less confidence, he's irritable, he's depressed, total testosterone is 312. And he was told, good news, you're normal. Normal according to who? The lab range is not a declaration of optimal health. It is a statistical reference range based on a population. And that population includes a lot of men who are not actively walking around like Greek statues with perfect metabolic health and morning erections that could cut glass. Normal does not mean ideal. Normal does not mean symptom-free. Normal does not mean optimal. But here's the other side of that mistake. Some guys go in the opposite direction and think every lab value needs to be pushed to the top of the range or beyond it. They want testosterone at the top. They want free testosterone at the top, DHEA at the top, free T3 at the top, vitamin D at the top, IGF-1 at the top. And they wonder why they feel like a hummingbird trapped in a Red Bull can. Optimization does not mean redlining every biomarker like you're trying to qualify for NASCAR. It means finding the level where every symptom improves, health markers stay safe, and the patient feels good. Sometimes that is higher than the lab range suggests. Sometimes it's not. The number matters, but the person attached to the number matters more. Another lab mistake is whenever people are obsessed with the total testosterone. They're like, my total testosterone is 850. Cool. How do you feel? And it's like, what do you mean? I mean, how do you actually feel? Because total testosterone is only part of the picture. If your SHBG is real high, you may have a beautiful total testosterone number, but not enough free testosterone to actually do the job. That's why I care so much about free testosterone, not just direct free testosterone from questionable lab assay. I want total testosterone, SHBG, albumin, calculated free testosterone, because that gives us a better idea of what's actually available. I've seen guys with a total testosterone of 900 feel because their SHBG is high and their free testosterone is still at the bottom of the range. I've seen other guys with a total testosterone of 600 feel fantastic because its free testosterone is right where it needs to be. So if your provider's only looking at total testosterone and making all the decisions from that one number, that's not optimization. That's hormone management with one eye closed. Now we need to talk about estradiol. And yes, I know this is one that makes people angry. Good. It helps with engagement. But one of the biggest mistakes I see is that men are absolutely panicking whenever that estradiol number comes back high. They see a red H on the lab report and immediately think they need to be on an aromatase inhibitor. An Estradiol gets thrown in, estradiol gets crushed, and then suddenly they have joint pain, worse libido, flat mood, weaker erections, poor sleep, anxiety, and they feel like someone unplugged the color from their life. Estradiol is not a female hormone that accidentally wandered into the male body. Men need estradiol. It plays a significant role in libido, erectile function, mood, brain health, bone health, cardiovascular health, and probably a lot of the actual feel-good men actually attributes to testosterone. A lot of the testosterone benefits are not just from testosterone itself. Testosterone converts into estradiol, and that matters. Now, does estradiol ever become a problem? Yeah, it can. Some men get excessive water retention, nipple sensitivity, mood swings, uncontrolled blood pressure, or sexual dysfunction whenever the protocol is poorly matched to them. But the answer is not your estradiol is 62, here is an aromatase inhibitor. The question is, why is estradiol elevated? Is the dose too high? Is the injection frequency too spread out? Is body fat higher? Is alcohol intake higher? Is liver metabolism an issue? Is the patient actually symptomatic, or are we just treating a lab value because the portal made it red? In my opinion, serum estradiol in men is one of the most overreacted to labs in hormone optimization. I would much rather a dose of testosterone protocol, dose, frequency, lifestyle, body composition, and symptoms before we ever even look at an estradiol number, because the crash estradiol is going to be much more miserable than even the low testosterone symptoms. And a lot of guys are just never told that. And another mistake that we see with testosterone is just thinking that more testosterone automatically equals better results. It doesn't. There's a difference between testosterone replacement therapy and running a mini cycle while calling it wellness. If you feel great on a reasonable dose, labs look good, blood pressure is good, hematocrit's stable, sleep is good, libido is good, and you're progressing in the gym, awesome. But if you want to keep pushing the dose because you think the next 40 milligram per week is going to unlock your final form, don't be surprised whenever things start getting weird. Too much testosterone can actually worsen acne, irritability, anxiety, blood pressure, sleep apnea, water retention, hematocrit, and sometimes sexual function. Yes, libido can actually get worse. Yes, erections can get worse. Yes, you can feel overstimulated but still tired. And one of the classic signs that the dose is too high is the guy who says, I felt amazing for 6 weeks, but now I feel terrible. Sometimes they have a little honeymoon phase, and that's real, but that long-term hormone therapy is not chasing that first 6 weeks forever. It's about finding a sustainable dose that gives you consistent benefits without slowly creating problems. If your protocol only works when every other marker is screaming for help, that's not optimized. That's just tolerated for now. So let's talk about hematocrit. A lot of men on testosterone see hemoglobin hematocrit, those rise, and that's expected. Testosterone does cause increased red blood cell production. The mistake is treating every rise in hematocrit like it's an emergency and automatically requires blood donation every 8 weeks until the man has a ferritin of a Victorian ghost child. I can't tell you how many guys have come in and were told to donate blood over and over and over again. And sometimes it's not even the provider, it was maybe a friend on this, like, oh, you're on testosterone, you have to be donating. And it's like, well, I didn't tell you to do that. And we follow the blood markers closely to make sure we don't need to do any interventions. But once you're donating, that can make the hematocrit look a little better temporarily, but now their ferritin's crushed, they're tired, they're short of breath during their workouts, their restless legs are worse, the recovery is worse, they feel flat, and nobody in their entire treatment has ever checked iron stores. And phlebotomy can be utilized, but it should not be the only tool in the toolbox. You need to ask, is your dose too high? Are you doing too big injections too infrequently? Do you have sleep apnea that's underlying and causing it to go up? Are you dehydrated? Is altitude a factor? Do you live at high altitude where you're just going to run higher than normal? Are you smoking now? And is this a hematocrit number that's truly dangerous, or is it just mildly elevated? What's your ferritin if you've been donating blood? What's your blood pressure? What's the overall cardiovascular risk? If the answer to Hematocrit every time is just go donate blood. That's lazy medicine. Sometimes we need to adjust the dose. Sometimes we need to split injections. Sometimes we need to adjust sleep apnea. Sometimes we need to improve low intensity steady state cardio, add some walks in there, zone 2. Sometimes we not need to stop treating a lab in isolation. Again, you can donate, and I don't want to discourage blood donation for the benefit of the community, but turning a man iron deficient because we're scared of one lab marker is not optimization. That's just trading one problem for another. And this is probably the least sexy of the entire discussion, but a very important part of hormone optimization. Your blood pressure matters. Your lipids matter. Your apolipoprotein B matters. Your fasting insulin matters. Your hemoglobin A1C matters. Your waist circumference matters. Your sleep apnea matters. Your liver enzymes matter. Your kidney function matter. And I know that's not exciting as arguing about whether your testosterone should be injected Monday, Thursday, or Tuesday, Friday, but it matters more. A guy will debate estradiol for 9 hours online while walking around with a blood pressure of 155/95 and pretending it's fine. It's not fine. Testosterone therapy should make you healthier, not just more jacked with a ticking cardiovascular time bomb. And this is where I think the hormone space gets itself in trouble. We cannot only celebrate the benefits and ignore the risk management. If your testosterone protocol improves your libido, but your blood pressure is worse, your sleep apnea is worse, your hematocrit's climbing, we've not optimized you. We've selectively improved one area while neglecting the foundation. And that's not the goal. The goal is not just higher testosterone. The goal is a healthier, more capable human. Another false premise is that thinking that testosterone just replaces training. Testosterone does not build muscle just out of hopes and vibes. You still have to train. And I've had men say on their questionnaire for follow-up, it's like, oh, I want to gain more muscle. And then I ask, what does your lifting program look like? And they say, well, I've been meaning to start. Okay, well, that's going to be the first thing. We're not optimizing muscle yet. We're just optimizing the idea of muscle. Testosterone can improve recovery, protein synthesis, motivation, training response, but you still have to give the body a reason to build muscle. That means progressive resistance training, not random workouts, not walking by a dumbbell rack and emotionally connecting. Not doing once every third Thursday because Mercury is in Gatorade or whatever, retrograde, whatever. You need a plan. Push, pull, legs, upper, lower, full body. I don't care what split you use, but you need consistency, progressive overload, adequate protein, sleep, and enough calories to support the goal. And if you're on a GLP-1 medication or in aggressive weight loss mode, this matters more because you're at risk of losing lean mass if you're under eating, under lifting, and under consuming protein. Testosterone can help preserve and build muscle, but it's not going to do the work for you. It just helps drive the boat. But it does not become the boat, the captain, the map, and the ocean. One of the other mistakes we see from testosterone from other providers and clinics is that they just start too many things at once. And this is a huge one. The patient starts testosterone and then HCG and then Enclomiphene and then thyroid, then semaglutide, then CJC1295 ipamorelin, then BPC and TB500, then NAD, then peptides from a website that say not for human use, but somehow has a 4th of July discount code. And they come back and say, I don't know what's making me feel weird. Of course you don't. You started a pharmacological group project and nobody is taking attendance. When you start too many things at once, you lose the ability to know what helped, what hurt, what was unnecessary, and what caused the side effects. This is especially true with hormone optimization. If testosterone improves libido but Enclomiphene worsens mood, if thyroid improves energy but worsens anxiety, if MK677 makes you ravenous, if the GLP-1 medication suppresses appetite, if the CJC increases hunger or water retention, if the HCG is causing estradiol symptoms, good luck figuring out which one did what and when you started them all in the same week. Optimization should be methodical. It should start with the biggest rocks, the big levers, and give each change enough time to show its effect. Track symptoms, track labs, track blood pressure, track sleep, and then adjust along the way. The goal is not to be on the most things, the goal is to be on the right things. And sometimes the most optimized protocol is actually simpler than the patient expected. Another mistake we see from transfer patients is ignoring fertility until it's too late. This one needs to be said clearly. Testosterone can suppress fertility. Not in every man permanently, not always completely, but it can significantly suppress LH and FSH, which can reduce intratesticular testosterone and sperm production. So if you're a younger guy, you still want kids, we need to discuss fertility before starting testosterone, not 6 months later, not when your wife is ready to start trying, not whenever you've been on testosterone for 3 years now and everyone is stressed, before. That may mean getting baseline fertility testing. That may mean consider sperm banking. That may mean using HCG whenever you are going to actively start trying. That may be avoiding testosterone for now if you're going to start trying to conceive in the next month. But fertility should be a part of that initial conversation. Unfortunately, a lot of guys get sold testosterone like it's just a gym membership with syringes, and nobody really explains the reproductive side. That's a mistake. If a clinic does not talk to you about fertility before starting testosterone and you are of reproductive age, that's a red flag. Another mistake that I don't like from the current social media world is thinking that Enclomiphene is basically testosterone replacement without downsides. So let's dive into Enclomiphene real quick. It's wildly overhyped. Does it have a place? Yes. Can it raise testosterone? Yes. Can it improve fertility parameters? Yeah, it can. Is it the perfect natural testosterone booster with no downside? Absolutely not. Enclomiphene works by blocking estrogen signaling at the hypothalamus and the pituitary, which increases the pituitary's production of LH and FSH, which can increase endogenous testosterone production. That mechanism is why it works, but that mechanism may also explain why some men do not feel as good as the lab numbers suggest they should. Because if a part of testosterone's benefit is mediated through estradiol signaling in the brain, then blocking in the brain's perception of estrogen is not always going to feel amazing. Some men do great. Some men get numbers that look good, but they just don't feel any better. Some get some mood issues, some get some visual issues. Sometimes it worsens libido. Sometimes I see SHBG rise, so the total testosterone improves, but the free testosterone does not move at all, so they're staying at the symptoms that they came in with. And that's why I don't think Enclomiphene should be sold as TRT, but safer and easier. It's a tool, it's not magic, and if someone is promising you all the benefits of testosterone with no trade-offs, your wallet should start sweating. Another mistake that we run into is just simply not giving the protocol enough time. We don't want to be changing the protocol every 5 minutes. Testosterone optimization takes time. If you start a protocol and change it 2 weeks later, then change it 2 weeks after that, and then add an AI, then stop the AI, then increase the dose, then an injection frequency, and then you add HCG, and now we're blaming the testosterone. We have no idea what's happening. You need time to reach stability. Symptoms do not always improve at the same speed. Libido may improve early, mood may take longer, body composition is going to take months, strength's going to take months. Hematocrit in your labs are constantly evolving. That your sleep and recovery may improve different from person to person, but doesn't mean you should ignore the obvious side effects, but it does mean you should not micromanage your hormones like it's your fantasy football lineup. A good protocol needs time, lab, symptom tracking, and rational adjustments, not emotional whiplash every time you read a new comment thread. It's going to take some time. Another thing is choosing the clinic. That sounds kind of cliche and it's somewhat uncomfortable, but a lot of men just choose the hormone clinics based off convenience. Who can get started me the fastest, who requires the least labs, who gives me the dose I want, who's the cheapest, who has the most aggressive marketing. I mean, I get it, convenience matters, but the clinic is basically just a subscription service with a lab order attached. I'd be wary of that clinic. You want a provider who looks at the whole picture: symptoms, labs, blood pressure, hematocrit, ferritin, lipids, A1C, insulin resistance, sleep apnea, fertility, sexual health, mental health, training, nutrition, medication interactions, long-term risk. Because the goal is not to just get testosterone. The goal is to be better, safely, sustainably. A good hormone clinic should not just ask, how much testosterone do you want? They should ask, what are we trying to improve and how are we going to keep you healthy while you're doing it? And that's the difference between prescribing and optimizing. I know this video is mainly about men and testosterone, but I want to say this. Hormone optimization is not just a men's topic. Women get dismissed constantly. Fatigue, low libido, brain fog, mood changes, poor sleep, weight gain, loss of muscle, joint pain, hot flashes, anxiety, depression. And they are wildly told everything's normal, that's just aging, here's an antidepressant. And yeah, sometimes antidepressants are appropriate, but a lot of these symptoms are hormone related. And women deserve a more complete evaluation than being patted on the head and told just to deal with it. Perimenopause and menopause can be brutal. Progesterone, estradiol, testosterone, thyroid, metabolic health, iron status, vitamin D, sleep, stress, nutrition, all of it matters. So when we're talking about hormone optimization, we need to stop acting like men are the only ones allowed to feel better. Women deserve optimization too. And honestly, when done well, women's optimization can be one of the most impactful areas in medicine. And it's also going to help improve the guy's outcome if his wife or spouse is feeling better. The final mistake that we run into is forgetting what we're actually trying to do. The goal is not to win these lab reports. We're not trying to win the highest testosterone in your friend group. The goal is not to need this super complex protocol with 8 different variables. The goal is not to flex your free testosterone number online. The goal is to feel better, function better, perform better, age better, and reduce risk. Can you train harder? Can you recover better? Is your libido better? Are your erections better? Is your mood more stable? Is your relationship better? Is your body composition improving? Is your blood pressure controlled? Are you sleeping? Are you building muscle? Are your labs in safe ranges? Are you becoming a healthier version of yourself? That's the point. Hormone optimization should give you your life back. It should not become your entire personality. And it definitely should not turn you into a paranoid, lab-chasing goblin who changes his protocol every time a guy with a ring light says estradiol is the enemy. And so if you're on testosterone and think about starting testosterone, here's my advice. Don't chase numbers, don't ignore symptoms, don't crush estradiol because it's red on a lab report. Don't donate blood forever without checking ferritin, don't ignore your blood pressure. Don't pretend testosterone replaces lifting, sleep, nutrition, or cardio. Don't start 12 things at once and then act surprised when nobody knows what caused what. And most importantly, don't confuse access testosterone with actual hormone optimization. That's not the same thing. At Live Oak, this is exactly why we want the entire full picture. Hormones, metabolic health, sexual health, body composition, labs, symptoms, long-term risk. Because the goal is not just put you on testosterone. The goal is to help you become a stronger, healthier, more capable for yourself and the people around you in the long run. If this helped, please like the video, subscribe, drop a comment with the biggest TRT mistake you have seen or personally experienced. If your comment starts, my provider gave me an Estradiol on day 1, just know I'm already emotionally preparing myself. And if you're interested in more videos like this, we have several, just feel free to check them out. We cover a variety of topics: hormone optimization, sexual health, mental health. Again, just trying to take care of the whole person. And so you can subscribe for more videos like this so we can keep it rolling.